Prepsmas, Phil.
Hey.
China flu's got you kicked, huh?
Yeah, a little lightheaded.
You've been battling this for a few weeks now, haven't you?
Yeah, that's the thing about the Chinese. They're just, they're short and
Oh, bro. Oh, no.
just annoying enough to be a pain, but not really strong enough to be any real threat.
Oh, I don't know, man. I think you're being optimistic.
Hey, I wind my windage down just a little bit. I mean, and you don't lead them quite as much either. They have short legs.
Oh, man. Oh, I love it. You're going to get us so fired from these platforms. I think it's fantastic. Hey, Internet Land, how are you this fine evening? This is our pregame show. I hope you are doing well. We're both taking the time to get this shared out to our
Short
social
pregame.
medias. Hey, listen, Internet Land, I don't know if you have the opportunity to do this or not, but if you could for me, just because of how much the real Phil and I love Suckbook, if you are watching this via Facebook, we would absolutely love it if you would
go
take
watch
the time,
us somewhere else.
Go watch us on YouTube. YouTube is not a whole lot better, but we are trying to grow that channel over there. So, if you could go over and look up the Prepped Pastors Podcast on YouTube, hit subscribe, watch us over there. It would be rad. We would absolutely love it if you could do that. Hope you guys are having a Merry Christmas. Hope you guys are you guys have everything either well and truly purchased or on order with confirmation shipped to get your Christmas supplies in order. I have tonight, I want to discuss with my brother here and any of you out in Internet Land that might know what's up. But I would love to discuss a Christmas idea. My wife, the pretty blonde lady, she asked me what I want for Christmas, and I'm going to pull up what I'm thinking of, and I want to get some advice. We could start some debate in the comment section tonight. Maybe not tonight during the live stream, because I think the folks that watch us live don't do a lot of debating with us. But later on down the road, I could get some real crap. So after current events, while we're still at the pregame, I want to bring up what I'm thinking of asking for Christmas. It probably won't get here in time, but that's fine. I don't really care.
I'm losing you.
You're losing me? What do you mean?
Oh, there you are.
What are you losing?
No, your sound cut out for me.
Oh, right. I was drinking water. So Phil, you're feeling like garbage. The old respiratory funkiness is back in full effect, man. How seriously? Give us an update.
No, but back by about an eighth.
Oh, an eighth? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But a little worse today.
Yeah, they're persistent little buggers, but they're not all that effectively. I'm still at work.
Well, you're kind of always at work though.
I tell you what, I had a bit of a Christmas miracle today.
Fire away.
Apparently my driver's license expired. I found out at the liquor store, and I figured, I'd take my chances. So I drove by today on the way to work, and I walked in and walked straight to the counter and was out in a minute and a half.
Okay.
Including a new picture, which, by the way, looks significantly different than the last one, which was odd to me.
How so? Why were you significantly different looking? Beard?
Yeah. Different color.
Oh, yeah? Different color. That's awesome.
So the guy was nice about it. Okay. I said, why don't you just use that old picture? And then he said, you want me to make you change your hair color on your license too?
Oh, you are of the
He goes, it's more
silver.
gray than red, so you
Got it.
can't put brown anymore.
That's awesome.
Anyway,
That's
but yeah, I
funny.
walked in, no line, no waiting, straight to the counter. You gotta love Alaska.
That's fantastic. Can I show a picture of what I've been working on this afternoon? You might not be able to see it. I don't know, but hopefully our viewers will be able to see it. Let me drop it.
Yeah.
Let me drop it into the broadcast right here if I can. Maybe. Oh no, I got the spinning wheel of doom. Up there it is. That is a very large pig. Has been dispatched and is hanging in the very cold. Well, not the very cold. It's hanging in cool enough temperatures tonight. I just got some game bags on that. So yeah, we got some,
Terribly. That's what you were doing instead of being on the show.
that's what I was wrapping up this evening. Yes, that's why we are running late. So and let me just say, if we're running late, it's 100% me. Like the real Phil has one life to manage, and I have 60. So it's great. It's a good time.
Funny.
It's a good time. It's a good time. So, but no. Anyway, so I'm really I'm pumped. I'm pumped to get that pig in the freezer. We now have a quarter of beef in the freezer. We now have this pig that's going in the freezer. We have the wonderful doe that my awesome youngling shot while we were in the Ozarks, and we have copious amounts of salmon, and we're going in, and the last batch of chickens. So we'll have about 20 chickens too. So we're going into winter with some meat in the freezer. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, it's good.
And right now we have enough propane that if we had to like bust out the pressure canner and start going to town, we could do that. So
Because you can't just put your freezer outside and unplug it.
Well, it depends on how cold it gets.
The last couple of days. I mean, keep it shut, put it out there at least a week.
That's true. Yeah, we would be. Well, our freezer stays outside, so like our freezer's in a shed. So I mean, it's battling in the summertime for sure because it has to work a little extra hard keeping everything cold. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that. That makes me very, very happy, and I know that most of that deer is going to get. I'm really excited. I can actually get canning supplies right now. I can. In fact, the last time I was at the store, I didn't buy them because there was just mountains of Cur and ball cans and lids, and primarily the new jars with lids. So I'm gonna go pick up enough jars and lids to do about 90% of the deer is gonna go in pressure can jars. So
yeah.
Have you had any more grocery store like big major hauls coming out of the grocery store?
I don't really have the time or the energy to do new batches of canning, so my freezers are full.
Good. Well, and you're coming to the season of the year where you're safe. You can, like you said, you could roll your freezer outside and you'd be fine.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not concerned about. Well, not to mention, I could run a generator.
Right.
I'm prepared for 2 weeks without power.
Yeah. 2 weeks without power. That's pretty big. Yep. That's pretty good, man.
2 weeks. 2 weeks is what I can handle.
Right on.
Assuming I can't get more fuel, which I'm sure I can.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of Biden voters around here, but a couple, and so my generator will run off of their fuel just fine.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. I do want to come up with a dual fuel setup for mine. I want to be able to run propane and gas. So
yeah, I like that. It's a lot less efficient on propane.
It is.
I did it to make sure that it works,
right.
But
because yours is right, or is yours tri-fuel? Yeah. You can do natural propane and no.
I'm sure technically it is, and I could change some jetting to make it do that, but it's not set up, and I have not researched it.
Okay. Good stuff. Internet land, are you guys ready for winter? Are you comments in the comment section? Let us know. Are you guys ready for winter? Are you ready? Your freezer's full. Are you stocked up and ready for winter time? I am. As far as protein goes, I've definitely started in on the buying a case of canned vegetables every time I go to Costco. So no matter what I go for, if I go for the church to buy, the dreaded toilet paper monster, or if I go to get, whatever it is, I always get one can of canned vegetables, So like the last time, even when I was in the Ozarks, I went to Costco to get
vegetables.
Fuel. Yeah, canned vegetables. Just with something canned, a case of something canned. So sometimes it's not vegetables. Most of the time it's meat, or most of the time it's vegetables. Yeah.
I like the Brazilian fake beef. It's 100% Brazilian.
Fake
means
beef?
There's no hair in there.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
dude.
beef in a can.
Beef in a can, like the corned beef.
Yeah, from Brazil.
Okay, all right. I didn't know it came from
Because
Brazil.
I like it hairless.
Right. I like my beef hairless as well. That's true, I suppose.
I just assume that's why it says Brazilian.
I must be. It's true.
It's more expensive than the American stuff. And the American stuff, they put, potatoes in there.
Oh, yeah. Filler. Potatoes are filler. Yep. I got no time for things that aren't protein in my life right now.
So. Yeah.
So apart from being sick, everybody up there is doing well. You got any current event stuff? You watching the news? What's jumping out at you right now?
No, I don't really watch the news. I don't know. What is happening? Let's see. Surprisingly, some friend of Kamala Harris lied.
What?
I know it's a shocker.
What?
Well, I mean, he did commit it. There was a hate crime involved. It's just that he committed it himself.
Oh,
against himself.
Hey, listen, we all make mistakes. Just don't beat yourself up about
it. Yeah.
No.
Or
Juicy.
Pay your friends to beat you up.
Juicy Smollett was found guilty on all 5 counts?
No, 5 out of 6 is what I understand.
5 out of 6.
I'm not really following the case closely because I almost could care.
I'm just excited that the justice system actually worked a little bit and found him guilty of something, because I figured since he was a movie star, he'd get to go scot-free like Alec Baldwin.
I heard Alec Baldwin, I understand, is looking at jail time here too now. They're getting serious if someone is going to be held accountable. As far as old Wakanda, the police department there talked about several $100,000 worth of manpower they spent investigating his lies.
Old Wakanda. He's not Black Panther. The Black Panther died. That's not Black Panther.
I thought.
No, Juicy Smollett was not in Black Panther.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Somebody had made a reference.
Oh, okay. Got
it. What's her face? The pole smoker from San Francisco. The new VP. She had made some sort of reference that I probably got wrong.
Got it. Okay.
I blame it on the China flu.
That's all right.
I'm slightly hypoxic.
Yes, I bet you are, probably. Let's put a pulse ox meter on you and find out how bad a shape you're in.
Yeah, I can't find it.
So
I've not been drinking.
Any thoughts on whether or not the Supreme Court's going to overturn Roe v. Wade?
I'd be really surprised if they do.
I can't imagine that they will. They might limit it some.
They don't like to do that to themselves either. No. Even when they know they're wrong, they don't like to admit they were wrong.
Exactly.
So, no, I wouldn't expect that. But I have zero knowledge about the current events of that to really speak with any education on it.
No, I totally understand. I'm very limited. It looks like Biden had or Uncle Bobo or Uncle Sniffy or whatever you want to call him.
He had another stroke.
No. But it looks like he is
Poop his pants in public again.
He looks like he had a strong, a stern talking to. He was trying to. He was putting his foot down. Is what he was doing. He was trying to have a. He was trying to have a conversation with.
I heard he called Putin a killer.
Well, he did. He said that years ago.
I thought that was pretty funny.
I thought that was pretty funny too. That was a long time ago. He didn't say that this time. He was just like, you guys need to be nice, and you're doing lots of exercises and training things on your western borders, and you're making your neighbors nervous. And Putin basically told him to pound sand. Didn't give two poops about what he thought.
Yeah.
So didn't even take the time to condemn it, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard they were urging our allies to give up concede ground to appease. We urged some of our allies in Europe to do that with Hitler as well.
Yeah.
And strangely, it didn't appease him. But,
strangely,
when we have a group of people in this country that are one half step removed from Hitler himself, you can't be surprised when they do that sort of thing.
It's true. Looks like there's going to be some more new fresh round of rioting in Gotham City. Of course, those of you on the internet land may
your
not
Gotham
know that.
City or one of the other Gotham cities.
I would say the Gotham City, but Portland, yes. So there evidently someone was shot after throwing bullets at law enforcement. After he was chased out of a home invasion, and then he was fleeing from the police, and you definitely can't fire bullets while you're running away. That's not possible. So they were, he was as he was fleeing, he was throwing angry hate back toward the police, and the police sent him down the forever hole. They sent him. He got to take the room temperature challenge. And so
good for those guys. I'm surprised there's anyone left wearing that uniform that still knows how to shoot.
I know, especially in Portland area. It was probably state police, let's be honest.
No, I mean specifically Portland. I would never throw shade against other law enforcement agencies that still have integrity.
Right, exactly. So, but no. So it looks like if you're in the Portland metro area, and I got that news from a Portland person, I don't know why you're not packing, but So anyway, yeah, you guys, I think that between the Juicy Smoulier verdict and the craziness in Portland and the rest of the country, I mean, racial tensions certainly are not getting any lower. The race baiters that make us want to hate each other more and more and more, they're doing a great job. I mean, gosh, they are at work, just making it go nuts. So, Let's see. What else do we have going on here? Let's just check the headlines for some big stuff. Breaking news. Let's see here. Governor, Mayor. Is it Mayor de Blasio in New York City? He enacted some new Australian-esque vaccine mandates for the city of New York because Omicron has proven to be so deadly, and is definitely giving people the sniffles for sure, 100%. So that's always a good time. So that he's trying to play Australian dictator.
Can I say that I could care less what they do in New York?
Yeah, I know.
Kind of like Portland now.
Yep.
They need to keep their crazy in their own cities.
I like the fact that Jen Psaki, Circleback Psaki in the White House, she is.
I need to circle back to some sake.
No, that sounds great, right?
Some warm sake sounds awesome.
She said this week that it was okay to force kids to eat lunch outside in freezing cold. Because
I saw people were doing that in Portland. They're into the child abuse in Oregon these days, aren't they?
They are, man. They absolutely are.
School teachers condoning it, I guess.
And I think the big one. Now, listen, I'm going to ask you to be careful here, okay? My brother, I love you, but I'm going to open up a box with you right now. And I'm going to publicly say, I'm not going to say the words "I'm glad," because Scripture says that we should love our enemies and pray for them. That we should love our enemies and do good for them. And I will say that I would never ever call my friends of the Catholic persuasion my enemies. I would not call them that. Their leadership, I might call them my enemies. I very, very much so. But there are multiple reports coming out of both the Swiss Guard and one of the highest-ranking cardinals in the land that Pope Francis is dying. So, still rumor. We don't know for sure. We don't have any. But I'm just going to say this. I wouldn't be sad about it.
I think I'm pretty indifferent.
I wouldn't be glad, but I wouldn't be sad. If I opened that gift up on Christmas morning, and I think it very well might be a gift to the whole world, I would go, okay, all right.
I'm often glad when people who facilitate evil things, and especially on children, I'm often glad when they are no longer in a position to facilitate such things.
Well, I got to tell you that for me, it's about the fact that I don't know whether he or not was a part of any of those things, but I will say that, basically him being one of the most un-Catholic leaders I've seen in forever, saying, oh yeah, it's okay to serve communion to people who vote for abortion and things like that.
Yeah, hasn't he conceded on abortion issues? And
I think there's been a bunch of that, man. He's been very disappointing. It's
hard to imagine that he's not been an aid in the murdering of children then. And I hope the next couple of days are excruciating for him.
Well, he
you need that primer before you spend eternity rotting in hell.
Well, maybe he'll come to repentance and talk to the real Jesus before then. I don't know, because he thinks he's Jesus and he's not. So
I don't know if he does. If he does, maybe he's bought into that. I don't know. I know a lot of Catholics are pretty confused about how that works, and that happens in a cult.
I wouldn't go as far as calling. I would definitely wouldn't go as far as calling them a cult, but I would definitely say that they need to call them. They need to call their leaders into account, and I think that just blindly saying that, yes, because the smoke was white one day. And by the way, I saw the funniest stinking meme where it was a picture of the Wuhan, the Wuhan laboratory for virology.
Oh, I saw that.
And there was a smokestack. And the smoke is white. A new variant has been named. I thought that was fantastic. I know that there are a lot of Catholics that love Jesus very, very much. I believe they love the real Jesus very much, and I think they need to call their leaders
peaceful Muslims too.
They need to call their leaders into account. That's what they need to do. They need to stop just blindly going, yeah, because the smoke was white this one time. That guy speaks for God always. Like, nope, I'm sorry. That's not me.
There's a solid 2 or 3 dozen followers of Islam that actually truly are peaceful.
Well, there's that. So anyway, those are the headlines. It's not a particularly amazing news week this week. Marsh is back.
We're all getting ready to celebrate Jesus. So
that's right. We're all getting ready to celebrate.
Who cares about all these other fools?
That's exactly right.
What's Marsh say? I can't read it.
He says, "Good evening, boys. Just joined back from dinner out. Well, good for you, brother. Did you have to show your papers to eat dinner over there in the great green part of the state?
On the fringe of fascism.
Yeah, man. Oh, Bob Dole died this week. That was another piece of.
Did you think he was still alive? I thought he was dead a long time ago.
No, he I don't know. And then of course the Ghislaine Maxwell, queen of the pedophiles.
Yeah, not really paying much attention to that.
She's
Other
still
than,
currently on trial. So
as typical, being run by the feds, it couldn't be more incompetent all the way around.
no, Marsh says no. He didn't have to show his papers. Good for you, Marsh. I'm glad to hear that. All right, so that was the current events section of the show. We really, I've been running at 100 miles an hour today, trying to kill pigs and get younglings off to Boy Scout camp, or Boy Scout camp out, I should say. So I'm a little tired. I know that my wonderful co-host, the real Phil, is feeling like hammered dog crap. So we're running a little slow tonight. So you need to bring in the comments and jazz us up a little bit. But we're going to get into our main session. Phil, you ready for me to hit the video?
You got to roll credits. I'm going to get something to drink.
Do it. We lost the real Phil. That's okay. He's going to be back in just a second. He's getting his hydration on. I had to go and acquire some single-use bottled water. So welcome to the Prep Pastors Podcast. I am the real Kirk, and my co-host here to my left is the awesome and wonderful real Phil. So Phil, I know you're sick. I know you're not feeling great today, but I sure am glad that you're with me, and thank you for that. Let me situate some graphics there. So we are talking about What's Left of My World, this amazing C.A. Rudolph book series. It's a good long series if you're looking for something to be reading. If maybe you're looking for something to ask for Christmas, you should definitely pick up one of these. I will say before we get into this book series, just continued shout out to our friend Boyd Craven. I read his Devil Dog series this last couple weeks while I was traveling, and it was good. It was really, really, really good. And now I'm in Horton's Borrowed World series, and that's kind of a journey home kind of series. I like that. I like those journey home books. Hopefully we're going to see another one of our favorite journey home books drop here in the next few weeks when we get the new Lone Star Odyssey book that's hopefully forthwith.
It's been so long. I don't know if I even want to go back.
So yeah, man. So we're gonna be kind of wrapping up book one of What's Left of My World, and I'll just kick things off with, I think my favorite part of this book is something that you and I try to do really well. Man, the lighting on my deal is just going berserk, man. I look like I'm about to just like burst into flames, right? So maybe after I ask you to respond to what I'm about to say, I'm gonna go change some of my lighting situation here.
Mess with some gels.
Yeah, I'm just gonna back it way far away and see if the camera can compensate then. I think one of my favorite parts of this book is, and we're going to get more into it in book two, so we don't need to jump into a ton of it, but I love how much training Lauren's dad does with her as a young girl. Like, I love how much he gets her to the range and how much shooting, and like
a significant financial commitment.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, and we'll find out how significant in the books to come. But I mean, even just getting out there with the 22 and having that conversation where she's like, "Hey, could this, like kill a person?" And he's like, "Well, it could kill an animal. It could kill a person." So he teaches her a really healthy response, a really healthy respect for firearms, but also makes sure that she's a really effective shooter. You want to talk about that while I move my light stuff around?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't know how much that we see in the first book. I think we certainly find out that she either has a natural ability to put rounds on target, quickly and effectively, or an awful lot of training, or as we find out later, a mixture of the two. Believe it or not, pointing these bangy things at stuff and then actually hitting them, and especially when they're on the move, takes a little bit of skill and practice. So
Yeah.
To put that in a small frame person, and have a small framed person be effective at it actually takes a lot more work on their part. It's easy coming from a solid platform to be that solid base, but
Right.
To operate the same firearm of the same weight, it takes some training,
Right.
because there are some skills that you can pick up that will help greatly. I think it's easier for large frame men such as myself to wing it.
Would I
and
be
even
classified
fake
as a
it.
large frame man? I feel like I would be classified as a large frame man. No, I think you're right.
Well, at this point, you're still a little bigger than me, but not by much.
Coming, buddy. I'm
Getting
coming
awfully
for you.
close.
Don't let me pass you now. Don't let me pass you now.
You might, and that'd be great. I'll drink a beer for you. No one pays me to run up and down stairs anymore.
No one pays me either, man. I'm paying myself.
There you go.
So you saw my video that I posted yesterday.
I saw you posted a video running up. How many times did you do that?
I did it 18 times, and then I decided to do the video. So I was like,
are you
20
running
or 21
in steel
times.
plates?
Those are a ceramic polymer hybrid. So my whole vest loaded up without the firearm, because where I train, I'm not technically allowed to bring a firearm into that building.
I was surprised you're able to bring the mags.
Yeah, they said that was fine, but they said, well, there are a lot of them in that building. Just not, I don't have any access to them.
Yeah, but not yours.
And they're definitely not mine. But no, I loaded that vest is about 23 pounds. So with plates and
That's
magazines.
That's not bad at all.
No, it's way lighter than my old setup. So,
yeah. I'll have to do a segment on that. I'm setting a new one up right now, but I actually thought maybe I'd bring in one of my other setups. I have a very purpose-built one, and I'm making a new one that's for a different purpose. But which also goes back to that as well. I don't think she was. I don't think she had body armor. Did she have body armor?
No, they acquire some body armor, and then they hide some more body armor to go back and get later, because when she's injured with Christian.
Because at this point we're towards the end of the book here, so they did get body armor off the guys that were attempting to kill them.
Correct. And actually, at the end of book 1, that body armor saves Christian's life because John.
Oh, that's right.
John,
her boyfriend shoots him,
thinking that he's, because he looks like a Homeland Security agent, and he looks like he's kind of leading her down the trail.
And she handled it poorly.
She handled it poorly. She should have been like, no, butterfly, or whatever safe code word you have.
Mine's not butterflies, but yeah.
That's the one that Clint talks about in his video. He's got a video where he's talking about how, like, if you go down the hallway and you hear bang 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 right, your wife is spun up. She's kicking on the General Electric minigun motors and she's ready to light up. She's ready to light up whoever walks back through that door. He's like, so before you walk back through that door, you better say whatever butterfly or whatever, and she's gonna say purple, and you're or whatever call and response you have set up with your loved one. But they definitely should have had some color of the day or something, blue, 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 blue,
Well, I thought about that quite a bit, because in later books, we find out that some of the people in that community have the proper skills and training to know how to set up a perimeter.
Heck yeah, they do.
So that they just weren't organized yet. And I think we talked about that last week.
Correct.
They weren't quite organized as a community yet. They hadn't set their procedures in place. They didn't have, ingress,
Right.
egress routes. They didn't have sign, countersign,
Ta-
duress words, and other things. Didn't
Talk
have any
about
of those
talk
in
about
place
sign.
yet.
Talk about sign countersign. Unpack that for us.
Oh, I don't know. I think sign, countersign's a vault issue. You can certainly Google it all you want, but if we're going to explain our take on it, you're going to have to be a multi-pass card holder.
Oh, okay. That sounds good. I like that. Come hang out with us
I'm
in
not
the
giving
bunker.
away my trade secrets.
All right.
Yeah. I will say, no, I won't say.
You gonna save that for the bunker?
Yeah. I got a new Android app this week.
Oh, you did.
Something is now available to, that didn't used to be available before.
Oh.
We'll talk about it in the bunker.
Talk about it in the bunker.
It's
Okay.
necessitated a new piece of kit to go onto my vest now.
Oh, you've got me stumped now, so I can't wait. I can't wait for the bunker. We'll talk about that. New kit
Well,
in
and
the
I
bunker.
don't know if it would have worked in this book or not, but I guarantee you that the people she trained with probably were running it.
Okay. Got it. Okay, I think I know where your brain's at then.
Yeah, I know you've heard John Lovell talk about it.
Yep. I know where
if
you're
you
at.
watch T-Rex Arms at all,
Yep.
then they're really scratching their heads around how to tweak this for civilian use and make it work with systems that are readily available in the civilian market. And I think we made some ground in the last couple of weeks here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well,
cool stuff for the bunker, I guess.
I know. Yeah. I know you and I have been having some major conversations about comm stuff, and I'll say this. Let me say this just while we're talking about comms, because really, what would have fixed this?
Comms.
It would have been comms. And okay, so spoiler alert.
And they
like,
had them.
They had them. They just didn't know they had them yet at this point. So well, let me say this.
Together as a community.
Lauren didn't know they had him because after Lauren goes missing and all of the things, right? She is, in fact, I think they hand her her radio as soon as she gets back to town, right? Or back not to town, but to their Trout Run Road, right? So which is really, really cool. So I would like to actually talk about this. Let me give me just a second. I want to pull up something that I'd love to get some folks' advice on, maybe get your advice on. Do you have any thoughts in the realm of comms, and we can talk about this and then we'll get more in depth on in the bunker, I think, but I'd love to open this up. Any comments, GMRS versus ham? Phil, have you thought about that at all?
Ham works on the GMRS frequencies.
Well, yes and no. I know that all of the new Baofeng radios that have been released in the last year, including the ones that I purchased a year ago, the GMRS frequencies have been removed. So that sort of sucks.
Have you tried reprogramming the radios?
They do not have the ability to transmit on GMRS. They only have A and B, and they have the ham scenarios. And according to some folks that I talked to, that was taken out because of a lawsuit, which is
glad I bought a whole bunch of them a long time ago.
Well, I'm wishing that I had myself.
I'm not sure when something you can't hack into.
Right.
Those things are very widely programmable with the Chirp software.
Can you see your screen? Is that something you can see?
Can I see what?
Can you see can you see me? Like, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I am going to I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go to...
Yeah, I got a monitor turned so that I can see you. Yeah.
Let me move our logos and graphics out of the way. So this is what I'm contemplating asking for Christmas. I
have, I think, an older version of that in my side-by-side.
Okay.
It's installed as a base station on my side-by-side.
Okay.
I'm working on a mobile repeater.
Okay.
But
Actually, now that you say that, let me back up because I found this guy is a fantastic. I watched a big long video about this, and evidently there's a $40 off coupon. This is a phenomenal mobile repeater.
is that already set up, repeater?
It is an
You used
already built and sealed waterproof
That's
repeater.
nice.
So
How much is that?
it is $3.99 with a $40 coupon right now.
Ooh,
Yeah.
and it still needs antenna,
Yeah, you got to have an antenna.
and it doesn't have a power source built in. Oh, okay.
Doesn't have a power source built in, but but evidently it receives. It has the ability to receive both 120 and 12 volt and 24 volt. It can distinguish between 12 and 24 volt. Yeah, so
That's a lot of money to not include the most expensive parts, which are the battery and antenna.
Well, I guess that's possible.
Because you can build it with two Bofang radios and an ammo can.
Yeah, that's true too. You could just build one. That is a good point. This one evidently has duplex capability built into it, so kind of cool. There's some kind of cool stuff. So anyway, I was just curious as to what you guys thought about this. If anybody out there in the comms world had some input, could help me along, I would love to hear your thoughts on that. I'm supposed to be taking a professional comms guy to lunch in the next couple weeks, so hopefully I'll be able to pick his brain. But I think I'm going to ask for that B-Tech radio for Christmas. I think that's going to be my primary Christmas gift this year. And I'm going to mount that in an ammo can so that I can have it be available in the car or at the house or whatever. Build myself 2 meter band antennas. So we'll see.
Yeah, you
50
need some
watts
sort
is
of
pretty great.
Built-in meter then if you're going to have a mobile antenna, where you would move your antenna, change it around.
Right. Yeah.
No.
Absolutely. Kind of thinking about maybe putting a repeater at the church, and that way I would be able to encompass the whole of town probably. So but yeah, anyway, so back to our
I think your house is on higher ground.
It is. But it goes around the corner. So the church would give me around the corner. So but anyway, Lauren finds herself in a position where if she had comms, if the people who had a bulk supply of, essentially Baofeng radios that were in EMP shielded containers down in a basement, grounded, if they had been honest about their supplies with their community, and they've been together for a while, right? We talked last week about fuel. We talked about the fact that their fuel had been hidden for like 6 months, and how, or maybe even up to a year, I think is what we said. And we determined that was pretty fictional, that they were able to get so much functionality out of their gasoline, a year later. Don't put that much hope, especially if it's ethanol fuel. But yeah, so Christian takes a shotgun round to the plate, and I think maybe a pellet hits him in the face or something. I can't remember how that all goes down. But yeah, they all for the want of comms. She could have been walking into town going, "Hey, I'm inbound with one blue. Don't kill us when we cross the perimeter."
There's low-tech ways to do the same thing. But yes.
Sure, yeah. You can set up a whistle signal, or you can...
Yeah, sign, countersign, or really even just... gosh, how much do I want to get into this? there are other ways to passively signal whether you're in duress or not in duress, or specifically that something's abnormal, but it's okay.
Right.
And all it really takes is about 10 minutes of pre-discussion with
Right.
your group.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing. Their lack of communication ahead of time nearly killed someone.
Yep.
And I don't think he talks enough about that. It's almost as if it's accepted as a
Oopsie.
as an
Accidentally
okay
shot you.
accident.
Right. And they
Which is
honestly
fine
kind
for
of
people
laugh
who
it
don't
off.
know better.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. People who don't know better are fine. But we find out later that there are some people in this community that definitely knew better.
Well, certainly Christian knows better. I mean, he
Well,
was raised by a sheriff,
yeah.
and he was a plant inside of Homeland Security. So
But he wouldn't have been the one because he's just outside at this
Right.
point. He's an
No,
outsider.
that's
But
what-
Lauren
yeah.
should have known better with her training. And at least two other people in town should have known better with their military training as well. Anybody who's done ranger work or field work or outside the wire or near the wire stuff, you know these things. They teach them to you. They're pretty basic. So
Right. That's right. So yeah, absolutely. Kind of a big deal. I think that I'm glad we're pausing on this because this is a big deal, and they definitely missed an opportunity to kind of have like a real come to Jesus meeting where it's like, listen, you don't point yours at me, or I will point mine at you, and that's going to go really badly. Now Christian, I think, recognizes that he's being brought in as an outsider. Like that he's kind of already been prepped that this might not go well, that it's
Right.
going to be it's going to be pretty intense on whether or not he's going to be welcomed into the club or not.
Mm-hmm. As should be.
Yeah. As should be.
Another mouth to feed who possibly bringing nothing in.
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, more M4s in a community are helpful, but you only need so many. Sounds like they weren't wanting for guns.
Did you happen to watch the Southern Prepper 1 video series this week where he was interacting?
I know who he is, but I don't watch his stuff. He's difficult for me to watch.
Oh, really? You don't like the timbre of his voice or something?
Well, he's a little too alarmist. I think he gets excited a little earlier than he should.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I think he shares stuff a little too early.
Oh, okay.
Which I think is on purpose. He's trying to he would rather share it, right, and be wrong.
Yep. Because he's very forward about when he's wrong. He's very forward about when he's wrong. And
I would prefer not to share something ahead of time till you know you're right.
He definitely he did a video addressing that a week or so ago where it was like, look, if I would have waited on the pipeline thing, all the fuel would have been gone from the gas stations, and my viewers wouldn't have been able to get there and get their gas tanks full. I mean, so like I get it. I understand where he's coming from. Well, he does kind of a visitor at the gate scenario series this week, where it's like he walks up to the gate and has to interact with someone, who's walking down the road, or a family that's walking down the road. And I think he does a good job of like unpacking, like, what kind of questions do you ask? Are you gonna bring them into your compound, or are you gonna have like a campsite like across the road, from your compound? And basically like, hey, just so you know, we have cameras and surveillance and we have security people, and you're going to be real safe tonight. Might be one of the first good night's sleep you've had in a while, because we will be watching out for you. And so you feel free to use that campsite right over the, right across the road from us. You don't get to come into the gates. And it was really cool, and
that sounds good. Yeah.
And then the guys are there for a couple days. He's one of those guys where it's like, I'm not going to bring you food, but I do have the ability to bring you fresh water, and I got fresh water for you, and so he talks a little bit about that. And then as they pack up and they're headed to leave, he does come out with a small bag of groceries, and he's like, and here, by the way, can I ask you to do me a favor? And the traveler is kind of like, what do you want? And he says, well, I'm gonna give you 2 silver quarters. One's for you, and one is for the ham operator that you find, up the road where you're headed. Try to find me a ham operator, and here are the frequencies that I'd like for you to maybe have them pitch back some news on. And I thought it was really smart. Like, it was a good way to be generous, and he's putting faith in somebody that he's had a couple days to interact with across the gate, and
so this is all a hypothetical.
Yeah, hypothetical situation. He's doing scenario stuff.
Okay.
And I thought it was really, really smart.
I think it's smart to think about those situations ahead of time and at least have a plan.
Right. So that, you're not shooting the company, you're not shooting the guest,
You
no.
don't want to shoot everybody. You want to shoot as few people as you can.
Right. Absolutely.
Ammunition's hard to replace.
Ammunition is hard to replace. I wish I would have taken a picture. Speaking of ammunition being hard to replace, I wish I would have taken a picture. So maybe it's something I should talk about in the bunker. But we definitely scored a massive haul of reloading supplies last week, and I've been able to disseminate that out to the folks that that need it. I'm not a 6.5 guy. There was a lot of 6.5 stuff. Got it to somebody that I trust that's going to use it. And I got to keep the stuff that was worthy to me, and it was really cool. It was good. It was a spectacular hand of the Lord kind of provision sort of thing. Even got some primers. It was awesome. It was great. Those are made out of unobtainium these days. So yeah, I think that finishing the book, book 1, I feel like they do a good job in this of being skeptical of the new arrival. I think that this community finally wakes up and does a good job of amongst themselves, not to every Tom, Dick, and Harry passerby that comes along. They begin disseminating the things that they collectively need as a group to provide good security collective for the group. So I think that's really important stuff. So I think that's it's a good thing. I mean, it's like even right now, like I'm working a deal back in the Ozarks to get my dad set up with a 200-gallon fuel tank. I found one on Craigslist, so it's one of those things where it's just trying to make sure that even the people I love are thinking about some of this stuff and trying to get prepared, and that's why I love these books, because they challenge us to think a little bit. So what about you, man? You think they're starting to wake up? You think they're starting to get it right, as a community?
I don't think they do until the second book. Okay. I think they're starting to wake up to the world around them a little bit in this book. It's good that they're thinking about working cooperatively as a community, and starting to think about assessing their threats and ways to mitigate them.
Right.
They're still, even in this book, not quite united yet. There's some people on the fringe that refuse to participate.
Right, and I think it is book 2 before the Brady family starts to come along.
You find out in the second or the third, I think it is the second book, that there's a family living close by off in the woods that has a lot of skills that they don't have, and ends up being a large asset to their community. And they failed to fully encompass and embrace everyone. So it is a story. So it's a fictional story. And if it didn't have twists and turns, it wouldn't be as interesting. In real life, we'd hope to have as little drama as possible. and that'd be a really boring book.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I think the fact that they're going through drama allows us to think about drama, and
Different perspectives.
oh, I missed a comment earlier. That's good. Marsh says my code word is double tap. That's awesome.
Double tap.
Double tap. Very nice.
Yeah.
Marsh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That SIG 357, great double tap round.
Oof, oof, oof. That's a big old.
Marsh is a SIG guy.
Oh yeah, man. I've definitely got some stuff as far as code words go that I'm not going to share publicly. I might share some of them on the bunker, but I mean, my family definitely has some things that, if I say this, and well, you've probably even seen it. I think, Phil. I think maybe I even illustrated it. Like, I mean, there's a phrase that I say, and Amy and Trip hit the floor really hard and fast. And subsequently, I would too. I mean, like if things were reversed and Amy were, and I will just say this based on the photo that I showed earlier. Some of you might have missed this back in the pregame, but we dispatched a pig today, and it was kind of a weird situation where. The pig he got popped by the electric fence, but right before we were starting to want to dispatch him, and so he was super duper nervous, didn't want to come anywhere near. Even though we put food out on the ground, he wouldn't come close. And then of course every time I tried to walk up to the pig, like the pig was like, I don't know you, man, like because my friend's been raising it for me for its whole life, and he's like, I don't know you, and he would just take off and go behind his little shed and whatnot, and so. So I just
and you don't want to knock them out when they've got that adrenaline running through them.
Right. So we sat there and we let him get calm and chill out and do, get cool. And I wasn't going to chase him around. And so one of the things we talk about in the bunker all the time, is I carry that war poet every day. If you know what that is, if you know, and so because it has that optic on top, I took about a 20-foot shot and just dumped him. Boom, one was over. And both of the dudes that were there just turned and looked at me, and they were like, my gosh, that was an awesome shot. I was like, well, I do practice, guys. Like, I mean, it is something that we train for this. If I can't drop a pig, with one, I can't drop anything with one, and so, but it was a big pig. And so I was very, very pleased that it went that way. So that made me happy. I was I got to
That's
have
good.
a little 9mm flex there.
Did you recover the round?
No, I didn't dig it out of his head. So, although
that might be interesting. Would you use
Hornady critical defense is what I
Yeah.
not that I'm spending any more money with Hornady, but I have a lot of Hornady stuff. So
I'd absolutely take a critical defense shot.
Yeah,
I'd like to see what that round looks like.
Yeah, I might. I might do that tomorrow. Maybe I'll go see if I can
Get that out for next week's bunker.
That would be cool. It would be pretty wild. I got to go out and go cut the pig up tomorrow. But so maybe, yeah, I'll see what I can do. So yeah, I was excited, that I got to, go work, actually utilize my training with my sidearm and feel a little bit more confident. Something that's moving around and a little nervous, and I was like, okay, cool, that's good practice. So 20 feet is that's pretty, there's maybe even a little further, 25 feet might have been. Yeah, it's good practice. I'm feeling a little more confident.
Good.
Or I should say, my regular confidence is feeling validated. Let me say it that way.
There you go.
So
yeah, it's a little long for a Derringer shot.
Yeah, you should hear my dad tell the story of putting down an alpaca with a Derringer, one of those folding jobbies that does the 45 long
Yeah.
Colt or the 410 self-defense rounds.
Yeah.
Um,
Smith Arms makes a good one.
yeah, and I think his is a Barnes out of Texas, and
Yeah.
Barn, yeah, he liquefies the poor alpaca. It needed to be put down, so it went down very quickly and humanely. Let me just say it that way. But there was a lot of alpaca that needed to be scraped off of my father.
45 long Colt is
It's a passionate round. It's a passionate round, man. I have to sit my dad down the next time I'm home. I'll sit my dad down and shoot a video of him tell the story of the alpaca put down, because he about turns green every time he tells it, because it was pretty wild.
Did he at least get an arm's length away, or?
I don't think so. I think he was right there, man. I think it was right there, and it just, I think it was pretty point blank, and it vaporized that poor critter. Not that we're rejoicing in the death of an animal. I'm just happy that it was quick and humane.
Happy for quick and painless. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we look for. Even when we're hunting, when
the robots come, we'd be lucky to get quick and painless.
That's right, man. When the robots come, that's exactly right. So, but no, I think getting back into we've seen the conflict is mounting, right? We've seen the couple rounds of bikers now in book one, and it's gonna, spoiler alert, it's gonna get a whole lot worse, coming up. And I think that thinking about blocking the road to your neighborhood, creating barricades so that specifically ATVs, dirt bikes, motorcycles can't just navigate and go wherever they want, is going to be a really important thing. I think they do a moderately decent job of blocking the roads. I think they could have done a lot more as far as like making sure that you can, especially for a motorcycle. I mean, I think you could leave a spot that looks like you can get through, and then maybe put some stuff under the dirt to make things go badly for the motorcycle. I don't know. I think they could have done a lot more to secure that neighborhood, but I think they also had to learn hard
countermeasures. Yeah,
passive countermeasures.
It's not kosher to call them booby traps anymore.
Right. Passive countermeasures. That's exactly right. And I think that it's important to realize, again, this is a fictional story, but it's supposed to spark conversation and thought process. It's a good thought experiment, and I think it's good to recognize that they don't learn until they make a lot of mistakes, and I think that's good for us, that maybe we can learn from their mistakes. So, yeah.
I don't have enough spare family members to make the mistakes that they make.
Where does book one end again? You've got a hard copy there.
I got a hard copy here.
Help us wrap up book one, and we'll get after book two next week. Or are we going to do like a Christmas special next week? What's the calendar look like? Needless to say, I don't believe we'll be having an episode on Christmas Eve, everybody, on the 24th. We will not be having an episode.
No, I'm going to be out of town, and in a location where I can't get good enough internet to do it.
Congratulations.
Let's see here. I think this is when her and the other girl head up the trail.
Oh yeah, the board girl kind of gets. It's been pretty sheltered.
Maybe not. It's talking about. Oh, I'm looking at the epilogue. So the epilogue is takes you back to the moment of the EMP.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
What started the whole thing off is the epilogue.
She's working at
she's in the store.
Yeah, she's working at the feed store. Yeah, the epilogue is that's a good epilogue.
Prior to that,
you definitely want to read the epilogue. It's a good flashback. She makes some very good, quick decisions based on the training that her father has given her.
Yeah, it's just right after she gets back with Christian.
Right. Okay.
Oh, no. Do a spoiler alert.
Okay, spoiler alert.
It's after Lauren liquefies the baby's mama.
That's book 1. I was wondering if that was book 1 or book 2.
You lost your sound.
The Takers. The Takers. Yeah.
So the community gets invaded by a new party of people that we hadn't heard about yet. And I can't remember, what do they call them? Like takers or something?
The takers. Yeah, we've heard of them. And she interacts with this lady on the trail. She has an interaction where she gives the little girl some food. She says that she does the whole like, yeah, I can. You hear me?
Oh, okay.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, so the takers come into the community, and they're essentially a bunch of BLM terrorist Biden voters, and they think that whatever the community has that they don't have should be shared, simply because they don't have it,
right.
And they want it, and they're willing to give all to get it, and they come in and start trying to take it, and when they're stopped, they present deadly force, and when they lose, they shoot their children. Right. And so there's a very sad segment at the end of book 1 where one of these Biden voters shoots her child in the head, and Lauren is forced then to shoot the mom.
Right. Dispatch them.
So sad deal.
It is. It's
I still got no sound from you.
Really? Did your
and then the epilogue goes back to Lauren working in a store before the whole attack and situation happening, which we later find out is essentially more Biden voter type people within the government who kicked it off on purpose in the Great Reset.
Yeah. But Marsh, can you hear both of us?
Then that's the end of this one.
Okay.
You figure out your mic yet?
I didn't change anything, man. Can you hear me?
All right.
You got me back? No? Yes, no? Yes, no?
So, nope. Ain't got no sound from you.
It stinks. If you're a viewer
that's the end of this book there. Anyway. We'll probably head off into the bunker here.
Yeah.
Where we can reset the sound system over there in occupied enemy territory of Oregon People's Republic.
Right.
Of Biden voters. And see, I can say whatever I want right now. You just have to cut the show, or I might just keep rolling on about a bunch of occupied enemy Oregonians.
Okay, everybody. I think you can hear me. We're headed to the bunker.
We're going to retool, reset, and we'll be in the bunker in about 10, 15 minutes. Other than that, next week we'll be on talking about book 2 of C.A. Randolph's What's Left of My World. Lauren has to deal with this tragic death that she's seen of a child getting blown away by her Biden voting mother. And as such, she has a lot of trauma to deal with. And then we're going to find out how she deals with that. It's pretty good. But as we say, be careful in book 2. If you've ever been around some of these horrible types of traumas, it could be a reminder, and might be a useful tool to work through what you got going, but you should be aware that you're going to be forced to confront some things if you read through that book. Hopefully you guys have already read it and you're ready. If not, you can read one of these in a week pretty easily. So we'll hit that next week in book 2. Then we're going to take Christmas off and be back.
Probably first of the year.
New Year's would be, right before. It'd be the 30th or so of December. Yeah, we'll be finishing up book 2 on that day. And then in the new year, we'll start book 3. So thanks for tuning in, and We'll figure out what's going on with Kirk's mic. Maybe he got EMP'd down there in occupied territory of Willamette. Maybe it's happened in Willamette and spilled over to you. I don't know.
Maybe so. I don't know. All right, here we go, guys.
Take care, everybody watching. We'll catch y'all in the bunker here in a few. We're out.